guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys what actually causes thin edges. There are various reasons why your edges might be thinning, and it can be due to medical reasons, which can be due to alopecia, stress, pregnancy, your diet. So these are like the medical issues when it comes to the cause of thin edges, but I'm not going to be talking about that because I am not a doctor, so I'm not going to be diving into those parts. I'm going to be diving into the one of the major contributions based on our bad habits. One of the major reasons why your edges might be thinning is majorly tight hairstyles. That is like one of the major reasons why your edges are thinning. Tight hairstyles are a major cause of thin edges. The thing about tight hairstyles is that you are applying a lot of tension to your hair follicles, and at the end of the day, along the line, it actually weakens the hair follicles, which leads to hair fall. The thing about thin edges, it doesn't just happen overnight. It is a gradual process. So depending on your styling habits can actually affect your edges and actually make it thin out. When your hairstylists are doing styles like braids or cornrows on your hair, you let them know if it's too tight. You let them know that it is too tight, because at the end of the day, if they're done styling your hair and you can't move your head once you are done with braids, and it's difficult for you to turn your head like this left and turn your head right, or it's difficult for you feel really uncomfortable and you're having like serious headache, you can't even you can't even lie down on your bed properly. You're like this all the time. If you're like this all the time, like, as long as it's very, very difficult for you to move your head round and to actually get things, and you feel really uncomfortable after you're doing a tight hairstyle, please loosen it. I know some people will be like, I've spent lots of money doing the hairstyle. That's why it's better when your hairstylist is doing your braids, make sure once the person takes a part of it and starts the first braid, make sure you tell the person that if it's too tight, make sure you tell the person that it is too tight. I don't know if some people are scared of actually telling their hairstylist that, oh, it's too tight, or maybe because it's a new hairstylist and you don't want to like start on the wrong note with the person. But at the end of the day, it's your hair that you should be worried about, and it just depends. And when you are telling them that it's too tight, it depends on how you approach and how you let the hairstylist know that your hair is too tight. If you don't approach the hairstylist in a polite manner, that can be a problem. But you have to be like, approach the person, tell the hairstylist in a polite manner that the hairstyle is too tight and please she should loosen her hand a little bit. And definitely she would. It's no problem for them because you are paying for the services and it's your money. Nobody's paying for you. You're the one paying for them to service you. That's like the major reason why your edges are thinning. It doesn't, as long as it's not a medical reason or it's not one of the things I stated earlier, you're not going through any of those things, then the major reason is tight hairstyles. Anything tight on your hair, even high puffs. The thing about high puffs is that there is nothing wrong in doing high puffs. High puff is like the go-to style for many people, and it's like the easiest style to do for every natural, but it can cause thin edges along the line. If your high puffs are too tight and you do it regularly, it can also cause thin edges. Another thing that can cause thin edges, I would say, is always slaying your edges, always applying gel to your edges all the time and brushing your edges. There is nothing wrong in slaying your edges. Please don't quote me wrong. There's nothing wrong in slaying your edges. I do slay my edges once in a while, but I feel like it is not a necessary thing. It's not something that you have to do all the time. Like people always feel like your hair has to look a certain way before it is regarded as, oh, beautiful, or it's nice, or it's on fleek, edges of fleek, everybody wants their hair to look really nice. Without always laying your edges doesn't mean your hair isn't beautiful. There are sometimes I do high cut and I don't lay my edges and my hair is totally fine. So it's not every single time you have to lay your edges, because along the line your edges will be thinning. If you are laying your edges all the time, like every single day, your edges are going to thin along the line. Because if you notice that when you are always laying your edges every time the brush, you notice that sometimes you see like few strands of hair. Sometimes when you're laying your edges, few strands of hair, and to you it might not be a big deal, but that's actually your hair thinning along the line, your hair falling off. You might not know, but your hair is actually falling off. Because me too, when I lay my edges, sometimes I see like a bit of strands on the brush or whatever I'm using to lay my edges. My advice is that when it comes to laying your edges, laying your edges, you need to tone it down a bit. I think you need to tone down everything a bit. Even when you do braids, after you do braids, let your hair rest for 2 months, at least 2 months. Let it rest and relax before you go about doing another set of braids. Don't do braids and then move it, and then the next week you loosen the braids, and then the next week you do braids again. That is actually causing too much tension on your hair, and you might not know. Also, when your hairstylist is doing your braids, make sure, you can see my edges here, make sure that the hairstylist doesn't take all your hair. See, if she takes all your hair, make sure she doesn't do like this, all your edges. Please make sure the hairstylist leaves a little bit of hair on your edges. Make sure they don't take all of the hair, they don't grab all of the hair, because that is actually causing extra tension to your hair. Anything that causes tension or making you feel uncomfortable on your hair, anything that is tight, even your cap, your wig, make sure that it's not tight. Anything that is tight and is making you feel uncomfortable when you put it on your head, even your scarf, make sure you take it off. Like, you take it off. If your wigs are tight, look for a way to loosen it, the wig. Make sure you don't do anything, wear anything on your head that is tight. That is just one of the major things that cause thin edges. Is anything, is your hairstyles. Probably the hairstyle you're doing is mostly tight, or you're always doing braids all the time. You're always doing braids with attachment all of the time. That can actually cause thin edges along the line, and the thing doesn't just happen overnight. It is bit by bit. The funny thing is that you can do tight hairstyles, you can do those bad styling habits for a month, and you might not really notice that your edges are thinning until maybe one day you decide to like do a hairstyle, or maybe do braids, and your hairstylist tells you that, oh, your edges are off. Or sometimes you might just want to do high puff and you notice that your edges are gone. That's the thing, it's a gradual process. It doesn't just happen overnight. And the same way it doesn't happen overnight, the same way the thin edges doesn't happen overnight, is the same way it doesn't grow back overnight. The edges are one of the slowest parts that grows out. One of the slowest part that grows out. So it won't happen overnight also to grow out when you want to grow it. So I'm just going to be giving you the solutions and what I did for mine. What happened to my edges there, as you can see from the picture here, what happened to my edges was braids. It was braids that actually caused my own edges to thin out and me to have like some bald patches at my edges area. The reason why was I usually leave my braids for a very long time. Okay, not like a very long time, but it used to pass 2 months. Okay, that's a long time. That's actually a long time. So I leave it, and when you leave your braids for a while, for a long time, it actually weakens your hair follicles, and then your hair starts to fall off. And that was my own reason, and that was what caused my thin edges. And what I did to actually solve, and what I did to actually make my edges grow back, was I stayed away from braids for like 6 months. I know not everyone can do it, but you can start with 3 months. Then if you notice a bit of change, leave it for 3 more months. I stayed away from braids for 6 months. I did not do braids for a whole 6. I think it's almost a year now. No, it's almost a year that I haven't done braids. No, the almost a year was not intentional. It's not because I did not, or it's not because I was trying to grow my edges. No, the 6 months was intentional. I was trying to actually grow back my edges, so I stayed away from braids for 6 months. That's my advice. Try and stay away from braids or anything that's going to cause tension to your hair. Make sure that what you can do is that you braid your natural hair, or you twist your natural hair, and you wear a wig. You wear a wig cap and you wear a wig, like most of the time. That's what I did. And make sure your wig is not too tight, please. That can also cause thin edges. So anything tight or anything causing tension to your edges, just stay away from it. So that's one thing I did. I was wearing wigs most of the time, and I was always doing my hair myself. I've not been to a salon in a while. I'm not saying that some hairstylists are not good. There are some hairstylists that are very, very good, and some people have their hairstylists that they trust to do their hair. I haven't yet gotten any hairstylist that I trust to actually do my hair. I've not gotten that hairstylist. Some people already have their hairstylist, which is fine, but if you don't, try and learn how to do your hair yourself. Not like braid your hair yourself, but braid your natural hair yourself, or twist it, put it in braids, or twist and wear a wig. Another thing you should do, not you can, you should do, is that you make sure you moisturize your edges morning and night before you go to bed. There are various oils you can use for your edges, like castor oil, olive oil, coconut oil, various oils, but more majorly people use castor oil a lot. You can also use olive oil on your edges. So make sure you spray water on your edges, and then you apply the oil, and then you massage that area for like 2 minutes. Massage that area for 2 minutes, just round this area like this. Can you see? Just massage here, this area, massage it for like 2 minutes. The night you also do the same thing, and then you make sure you protect your hair with a hair bonnet, or a silk scarf. So that's what you do. Or if you don't really like putting anything in your hair, you can get a silk pillowcase. So make sure you also protect your hair at night. That is also very important, and that can also help to prevent thin edges. So make sure you do that, you protect your hair at night. Also, you can take hair vitamins. There are various hair vitamins that you can take to actually boost your hair growth and actually help with your edges. Sometimes it can be you're lacking a vitamin in your body. So actually hair vitamins are very, very good when it comes to growing back your edges. So these are the things you need to do. They are quite simple, but they take time. You just need to also be patient. And lastly, just leave your edges alone. Stop touching your edges. Leave it alone. Many people are always touching their edges, their hair. They always want their edges to look this certain way, look that certain way. Leave your edges alone. If you're trying to grow it back, leave it alone. The major thing, like I said, just make sure you leave it alone. Stay away from tight hairstyles. Anything tight causing tension or uncomfortability on your, is there any word like uncomfortability? Any style that is making you uncomfortable when making it, stay away from them. Stay away from them. That is just what you simply need to do, and let your hair rest. Don't braid your hair for a while, and there's a reason why I'm saying that. Let your hair rest. It's a gradual process. Everything is a gradual process. Don't expect your edges to grow in 2 weeks. Please, we have passed that stage. We have left that last year. Please, we're not doing that your hair will grow 5 inches in 2 weeks. Please, we have left that, guys. So everything is a gradual process. So that is all on today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you love the video, and also don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more hair videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.